Hey, what's up guys? We're coming at you with a brand new Yu-Gi-Oh! Discussion video, and today we're going to be talking about the two newly announced Traptrix cards coming out in one of the next Japanese OCG sets. We have a brand new Effect Monster and a Link Monster, in addition to Alamoronus and Genlycia that were released in the TCG in the last year or so. This brings our new wave of Traptrix support up to 4 cards. Now, of course, I am predicting that we will be receiving at least 1 or 2 more Traptrix cards in the future, as well. Traptrix actually did get 4th in the structure deck poll that Sacred Beast won, that Shaddolls won, and that Charmers came 3rd in. So these cards have probably existed for a while. They were just looking for a chance to release them. So we're going to start things off with the Effect Monster, and that is Traptrix Gina. I'm not going to pronounce the rest of the name. Please forgive me because I would butcher it. She is a level 4 Earth Plant with 1400 attack and 1400 defense, continuing the trend of monsters in the archetype having a combined attack and defense of 2800, obviously with the 2 Link monsters breaking that theme. Her first and third effects can only be used as a hard once per turn, and her second effect is the usual Traptrix effect, where she's unaffected by the effects of whole normal traps. Her first effect is you can send a set trap you control to the graveyard to special summon her from your hand, being the deck's first real extender that you can just do on turn 1. Absolutely phenomenal. Her third effect is if you control no cards in your spell trap card zone, you can banish her from your graveyard and target a whole normal trap in your graveyard and set it to your field. This card is an absolutely amazing extender for the deck. Oh my god, there are so many ways you can even use it. So assuming you open her and then you open Momelo, you can use Momelo to go ahead and search a trap, set the trap, special this, go ahead and either Link Summon, Xyz Summon, whatever you want to do, banish her from your graveyard, and then you can go ahead and set the whole normal trap. So you're left with a decent-ish monster for this archetype and a whole trap. Alternatively, if you open up with a trap and Mantis, you can use Mantis to go and search her, set the trap, special summon her, use these two to go ahead and make a monster of your choosing, whether it be a rank 4 or a link 2, or heck, even if you just want to make Sarah and end on something here. There are some really cool plays that you can do with her, and she's a must run in the deck. I'm so glad that they gave us this card. In terms of her theme, I believe she's based on an Asian carnivorous plant, so that's pretty cool and on theme with the rest of the archetype. The second monster we have is a brand new Link monster in the form of Traptrix Kirlia. So she is a Link 2 plant, which is interesting that she's not an insect because they try to balance the plants and insects in this archetype, but Sarah herself is a plant. So it's interesting we got another plant Link. Does this suggest we might get an insect Link at some point in the future? She requires 2 materials that they must be insect and or plant, so not completely locked into Traptrix, but heavily implied that you would play this in the Traptrix archetype, but it may see some splash in other decks, which of course this could also see some play in splashing in other decks, as the summon condition is just send a set trap. Doesn't even have to be a hole, which is pretty crazy. So her first effect is, of course, the Link Summon card is unaffected by trap effects, and her second and third effects are hard once per turns. So when your activated whole normal trap card resolves, you can set it face down instead of sending it to the graveyard. Now, of course, this is a really, really cool piece of extension that the deck actually does have, because the deck really loves its holes, and losing its holes to the graveyard can be a little bit difficult as the deck wants to activate hole traps as much as possible. The downside with this effect is when you reset it, you can't then activate it in the same turn, because that would probably be a little too broken, I guess. There'd probably be some crazy combo you can do there, but in the context of pure Traptrix, that would be perfectly fine if you could reuse it, because you can only reset it hard once per turn. Her third effect is during your end phase, you can target a Traptrix monster in your graveyard and special summon it in defense position. That, of course, gives you more extension and allows you to at least get back one of the materials that you used to make it. The downside is you don't get that monster back immediately, so you can't use her to Link Climb, but that's probably the intention, as Traptrix are a very slow control style deck. Bringing a monster back and extending doesn't seem too much what the deck actually wants to do. Bringing it back in the end phase seems pretty decent, especially as there are a lot of Traptrix monsters that do have effects when they're special summoned, particularly Dioneia and Momelo. Momelo, of course, being able to MST a back row, and Dioneia being able to set a hole trap from your graveyard, of course. What else is interesting about this, of course, is, well, it opens up possibilities. You know, you don't just have to make Sarah pass. Of course, the best play going turn 1 used to be make Sarah pass, grab a hole, make Sarah pass turn, probably play Mystic Mine. This actually does open up some new possibilities, allowing you to go into a slightly beefier monster that's bigger than Sarah, so you don't have to worry about your Sarah being beat over all the time. Of course, you can even use Sarah if you want to go ahead and make this. There are some really cool combos, and of course, having the way this the arrows of this monster are actually designed. You can actually have her in your extra monster zone or your main monster zone, so you can actually have her and Sarah chilling out together, have them both link summon, and be able to use both their effects. But that is just my thoughts on these two new cards. What are your thoughts on them? Let me know in the comments below. What other cards do you think we're going to see from this archetype? Potentially in this set, potentially in future waves of support. I think it's very likely one day that we will receive another Trap Hole. Particularly, I'd love to see a Traptrix Trap Hole. Maybe we'll receive a Field Spell. There's a chance we might get an Insect Link monster, maybe a new Extra Deck XZ's monster, but let me know in the comments below. If you do like this video, remember to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel, and let me know if you'd like to see a deck profile working in these two new Traptrix cards. I can't wait to put one together myself, and I'd love to share what I come up with you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you for the next video.